Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Paul here. Let me clean my lens. Today I'm working on a 2015 Kia Soul with a 1.6 liter in it. I'm putting a new Serpentine belt on this. What I was originally doing was replacing the alternator, so while I'm in there I'm putting a new Serpentine belt on. So I guess I'm just gonna post this video where I'm at, which was jacking the car up and taking the access panel off. If you want to see how to adjust the alternator, actually let me just show you here. To adjust the alternator, to loosen the belt, you have to loosen this bolt here. I believe that's a 12 mil, and there's a 14 mil directly below this pulley right under here where my finger is. There's a 14 mil there that holds the alternator. You got to loosen this and loosen this one, then you turn this adjustment screw to let the alternator go in. I recommend sliding the belt off of the idler pulley first. It's easier to get it off of there than the alternator pulley because it's grooved. All right, that's how you'll loosen your belt. What I did, there's an app called Spectroid. It measures sound frequencies. All right, if you twang the belt like a guitar string, it'll give you a reading of how many hertz that belt is at, so you'll be able to tighten the belt back to the same tightness. You don't want to over tighten your Serpentine belt because then you will overload all of the bearings on all of your pulleys and shorten their life. Okay, mine was at 108 hertz, so when I put the new belt in, I will tighten it to that frequency as well. Maybe 3 months down the line, I'll check it again and readjust it because the new belt may stretch a little bit. You're gonna need a 12 mil, a 14 mil to loosen the alternator bracket and mounting bolts up. Then a 10 mil, you have a fastener here and a fastener up in here. They're little 10 millimeter bolts. Gonna have to remove them to get this panel off to get access. When you're jacking up, not jerking off, when you're jacking up your Kia Soul, I recommend getting these little jacking pads. There are little pockets right back here where these jacking pads fit up inside, and then you can jack your Kia Soul in the proper space. My air jack's still going up. Oh, actually my air is on, that's why I bumped into that. If you notice, I do have a jack stand under here. Never work under a vehicle without having jack stands. Never trust a jack, whether it be one of the crank up ones or an air jack. Never trust a jack. All right, so we're removing those two 10 millimeter fasteners, and then you can get this access panel off. Excuse the camera jumping all over the place, guys. This is not a Hollywood production. It's YouTube. I loosened this one. I'm just taking it out by hand. Take note of your belt route before you remove it, so you can get it routed the proper way. This little panel lifts right out. Now you have access to get in there. That's a splash guard to keep all the debris out. Let me go get the belt. Not easy to get camera shots in here, guys. I'm comparing the old belt length to the new one. Same belt. It's over the alternator, back around by the idler pulley, then over the crank and the AC unit. Probably not going to be able to get it on the crank here. Oh, maybe I am. Look at that. Got lucky. Sorry, blocking your shot there. I got it on the alternator pulley first, then swung it down, and we got it on there. Make sure you're lined up properly on all your grooves. You are on all the grooves. Now I can show you the routing of this belt. Goes around the crank. See that idler pulley there? Back around the front of this one. I tried to line all the pulleys up. I have this partially on the alternator pulley. I'm going to try giving that a real quick bump with the starter and see if it pops itself on. See if that works or not. Okay, I gave that a real quick tap of the starter and it took it on over that pulley. Now I got to push it back on the idler pulley more or it's going to walk off of the AC pulley there. That'll be a little easier to manipulate than the alternator pulley. Let me get underneath here. See if I can push it back on that idler pulley. Okay, I got it back on the idler pulley a little bit better. Let me give it another real quick tap of the starter. Okay, I'm going to start snugging it up a little bit now. Boy, that old belt must have been stretched a lot because this belt seems to be much tighter. Gonna get my phone out with that app. I can't talk while I'm doing this after I start this app. I just want to show you the app. It's called Spectroid. It's taking readings. It stops at the highest reading, the highest hertz that it picks up. So I will have to start this over again, not talk, and start measuring the belt. Alright, I'm going to start snugging up the alternator. It looks about good. Go a little bit tighter. Tighten my alternator up. 14 mil. I'm going to run it a little bit and then check the tightness of that again. This may change as I snug this up. It's a 12. Double checking these. Those were already snugged up. Don't go crazy tightening those two bracket bolts. I meant to mention that. But I didn't. My film didn't come out yesterday. There's a little dowel pin on there that positions this bracket. If you're changing the alternator, it's best to take this bracket out. But do not over tighten these two bolts that hold that bracket because you're going into soft material. Alright guys, I'm going to kick it over, let the belt settle, then recheck the tightness one more time. I got to tighten that more. This is just nonsense, guys. I'm not going to film all of this.